Okay, let's dive into something huge. We're talking about what is, without a doubt, the most high-stakes competition in human history. This is the global race to build artificial superintelligence, or ASI. And forget about just making faster computers, this is a race to create a world-changing, literally godlike technology.
So to really get our heads around this, you gotta understand the roadmap. Right now, up until about 2030, we're living in the age of ANI, or Artificial Narrow Intelligence. That's the AI you know, the stuff in your phone, your GPS. It's really good at one specific thing. But then, starting around 2030, the game completely changes. That's when we expect AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence, to arrive, and that's an AI as smart as a human. Then, from about 2040 onward, we take the quantum leap to ASI, an intelligence so far beyond us, it's honestly hard to even imagine.
So what exactly is the finish line in this race? Before we look at who's competing, we really need to understand the prize they're all fighting for. So let's define ASI.
Yeah, let's be super clear here. This is not just a smarter version of Siri. No way. This is a completely different category of intelligence. Think about it like this. Take every genius who has ever lived, Einstein, Da Vinci, Newton, all of them. Put all their brains together. ASI is smarter than that, and then some.
The sheer scale of this is it's mind-bending. We are not talking about an AI that's twice as smart as you or me, or even 100 times smarter. We're talking about an intelligence that is projected to be 10,000 times greater than a human's. I mean, what could a mind like that even come up with?
So what does that kind of power actually look like? Well, an AI could potentially figure out the deepest secrets of the universe in like a few seconds. It can improve its own code, getting exponentially smarter every single moment all by itself. It could become the literal operating system for our entire society. And then there's the really wild stuff, right? Like controlling armies of tiny nanorobots to build basically anything you can imagine.
And this is exactly why this whole thing isn't just a software competition happening in some lab anymore. This quote absolutely nails it. It's become a total war. We're talking about entire nations throwing everything they have at this, their energy grids, their economies, their entire industrial might. It's a new kind of global race.
So if this is a global race, who are the main contenders? Let's meet the key players and break down how each one is trying to win.
First up, you've got the United States, and their strategy can be summed up in one word: scale. They're just trying to win through overwhelming brute force power.
They're literally building the biggest engine possible to house this new intelligence. This Stargate project is a colossal $500 billion plan to build data centers that use as much power as a small country. Seriously. The whole goal is to create the physical body for an ASI and have models from companies like OpenAI be the mind that lives inside.
Okay, so while the US is building a bigger engine, China is trying to build a smarter one. They're facing restrictions on getting the most powerful computer chips, so they're being forced to focus on cleverness instead of just raw power.
Think of it this way. Instead of a giant gas-guzzling muscle car, they're trying to build a hyper-efficient Formula One engine. A Chinese company called DeepSeek, for example, made a model that performs as well as the top American ones, but using way less computer power. It's a classic strategy of using smarter software to get around hardware limits.
Now, Japan's approach is, well, it's fascinating. They're playing the long game. They're not trying to build the ASI itself. Instead, they want to own all the essential plumbing that every ASI is going to need.
So if the US and China are building the brains, Japan wants to build the global nervous system. They're using this incredible new tech that sends data using light instead of electricity, making it way faster and more energy efficient. Their goal is to control the networks that all future ASIs will have to rely on. So in a way, they're positioning themselves to be the landlord of the entire AI world.
And finally, you have the financiers. The UAE and Saudi Arabia are taking their incredible oil wealth and converting it directly into the two things AI needs more than anything else: huge amounts of money and huge amounts of energy.
They are basically becoming the bankers and the power plants of the entire AI revolution. Abu Dhabi is a massive investor in America's Stargate project. At the same time, Saudi Arabia is building its own giant AI data center for its futuristic city, Neom. Their goal is pretty simple: be the essential partner with the money and the power for whoever wins this race.
So you've got all these global giants racing toward the same crazy goal. But what does that journey actually look like? Let's put these different stages of AI side by side to see just how big of a jump we're really talking about here.
This table really just lays it all out. Look at the leap in intelligence. We go from ANI, which does specific tasks, to AGI, which can reason like a human. But that final leap to ASI is just staggering. It's an intelligence that could redefine physics. And check out the impact on life. We go from AI helping us with office work to replacing most jobs to eventually eliminating scarcity itself. We're talking food, housing, everything. That's not just an upgrade, that's a total transformation of our reality.
Okay, so the stakes are, well, they're everything. This could literally reshape human existence. So we have to ask the final huge question. Who actually has the edge in this race right now?
You know, this whole race might just come down to one single, massive problem: the power wall. Building these systems takes an absolutely insane amount of electricity. So you have two big philosophies clashing here. You have America's brute force approach, which is to just throw money at the problem and build bigger power plants. And then you have China's more elegant strategy, which is trying to design smarter AI that can get around the problem by not needing as much power in the first place.
So who's going to win the race to build a god? Well, if you look at it on paper, the United States seems to have the lead. With these massive projects like Stargate, they have the money, the best companies, and the raw infrastructure to build on a scale that nobody else can really match.
But, and this is a really big but, it would be a huge mistake to say this race is over. A single breakthrough, a new, super efficient algorithm out of China, or a game-changing optical network from Japan could change everything overnight. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon where the rules can change at any second. So the winner is far from decided. But one thing is for sure, our world is going to be changed forever by whoever crosses that finish line first.